What's good, everyone? Welcome back to Q&Austin. Fall is almost upon us, and I wanted to answer some of your questions so you guys have a better understanding of who I am as an individual. Let's get started.
Here's one from Taffy. What movies are your favourite and which ones do you want to see next?
As a kid, I used to grow up watching movies like Robots, Kung Fu Panda, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and Pixar classics like Monsters Inc., Cars, and even The Incredibles.
Honey? What? Where's my super suit?
Later on, this evolved into more mature content like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Harry Potter, and Tyler Perry as Medea.
Oh! Are you insane?
Did I take that was my parking spot and you gonna jump in front of me and take my damn parking spot?
Nowadays, I pretty much watch whatever's freely available online, and this can range from Men in Black on Peacock, The Mask on the Roku channel, and even Who Killed Captain Alex on Tubi.
What the fuck?
One movie I would like to see once released in theaters is Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Idris Elba as Knuckles.
Here's one from Wubble. Opinions on Fortnite.
Personally, I'm not pretty keen on Fortnite and how its audience appeals to pretty much every audience, but I do have to give Epic Games the respect it deserves for properly maintaining their game and fanbase compared to Valve Software and Team Fortress 2. Plus, with the game technically being free to play, I cannot necessarily deem it as a waste, because I can pretty much have fun with it without any drawbacks. But for the sake of variety, I will generally try to steer clear of Fortnite related content until all the hype dies down.
Question from Centaur. Favorite books and literature?
I'm not much of a reader, as I grew up with technology more as my mother's only child, but I do have interest in stuff like Harry Potter and the works of Stephen King. I did have to read a bit throughout college, and it was especially weird for me as a senior when I had to read books written by Donald Trump and Joe Biden for a special topics and communication course. Trump's was more on how he handles business, while Biden's was more on grieving the loss of his son Beau and why it prevented him from running in 2016.
Here's one from Lenny. What are your thoughts on cheating? And you, Curry? Anime zero!
I personally have a love-hate relationship with anime, as people generally fail to discern the weebs from the otakus. And while I don't have any idea on who these characters are, I have watched quite a bit of anime growing up. You've got your children-oriented programming like Bakugan, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and Tenkai Nights, which brilliantly combines storytelling with advertisements for their related games and toy lines. But then you have anime like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Assassination Classroom. JoJo's something we're all pretty much familiar with at this point, given how memeable the series has become, but the storyline itself is well written in spite of how bizarre the entire series is. Assassination Classroom is very similar in that it combines drama with comedy quite well, that it even made some people cry at the very end. The Japanese have really etched their history in anime and cartoons, and anime is something I would like to personally see more of compared to how the US barfed out Teen Titans Go, The Patrick Star Show, and Secret Mountain 4 and Awesome.
Another one from Wubble. Favorite energy drink?
I'm generally torn between Orange Dreamsicle flavored Rain and Star Blast flavored Bang, but I more frequently consume cans of Gridlock on hot summer days. Gridlock is essentially the Aldi store brand variant of Monster, and I can pick one up for less than $1 per can.
Lastly, we go back to Taffy for this. What are your thoughts on stew?
School is something I definitely have a love-hate relationship with, but to be fair, there was a whole lot more to love than there was to really hate. So I won't bring up elementary school for this answer, as I didn't necessarily have as much control in my personal life at that particular time, but I will bring up my experiences from high school and college. In terms of high school, things were pretty alright despite how tense the environment was, as there was often fights that left me having to deal with lockdown and early dismissal on 2 separate occasions. Pair that with the fact that I would have almost had to have graduated from a completely different school for my senior year, as it was put on chopping block for low performance before the University of Rochester took over, and situations were quite hefty. But there were some things I did like, such as an after-school gaming club where we held LAN parties for Halo and Minecraft, as well as my experience working on their Eagle Eye Report, which was a weekly video installment of their daily morning announcements over the intercom. I definitely made a lot of friends from all sorts of backgrounds over there, and I still keep in touch with some of them from time to time. College was a completely different experience, and let me tell you, your first year will always be the worst. But once you get a hold of everything, it'll definitely be a fun experience. At least until a global pandemic ruins whatever you had left of your academic tenure. My early years were incredibly enjoyable outside of classes, as there was an abundance of events I could go to where I could enjoy free food, free clothing, and even free NCAA Division I hockey games. More on that in a later video. Like high school, I made a lot of friends who I still have frequent contact with, but things really took a hit for me once I was in the finishing stages. Once COVID hit the States, they had to extend our ongoing spring break by another week and move our remaining 4 weeks of class over to Zoom. I mean, working from home is something I can get behind in some cases, but nothing can ever really replace having to work in a small classroom, lecture hall, or in the case of my General Biology 2 course, a freshly renovated lab. Once senior year hit, I was left having to do one class in person a week with little opportunity to visit just for an on-campus event, as my mother and grandmother were immunocompromised following their successful battles against breast cancer. Things got severely depressing for me as I had to walk across the stage in an arena void of any fans in physical attendance. Pair that with the fact that my internship had to be waived due to the pandemic, and I'm stuck with a degree, yet no job. I want to make my education worth more than simply my degree, so I'm open to any suggestions on what you want me to cover in a future video. Just hit me up in the comment section down below, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you sometime next weekend where I'll show you what an RED hockey game is like post-pandemic.